Today is actually a very, very special day for me because I'm revisiting the car that I've driven in the past. This is the all-new 2025 Ford Bronco with the Outer Banks variant and the Sasquatch package. Okay, so for the viewers out there, if you're expecting this to be a video about off-roading the vehicle, unfortunately, there will be no off-roading for this video. If you want to know my thoughts about off-roading this car, you can read my article maybe in the description down below. And it's actually very, very good. So Ford has decided to reinvent and to bring back the Bronco nameplate. And I think they've done a very, very good job. Now you can see in the front here, you have the two iconic lighting signature here, the Bronco block lettering in the grille. You know, overall, like in the front, it's a mean looking car. Like if you see this in the rear view mirror, you'd be scared for your life. There are actually two attachment points here in the front that actually has a load rating of 150 pounds. I'm not sure what exactly you can do with this, but if you need to tow a vehicle out in the off-road or in the wilderness, there's also a tow hook down here that you can use. So now let's check out the side. Okay, so carrying from the aggressiveness of the front, it's actually more apparent here in the side, thanks to the larger fenders, the 17-inch beadlock capable wheels, and mud terrain tires. These stepboards right here also has the Bronco nameplate here, and well, look at this boxy design. For me, this design will age very beautifully down the line. And did I mention that the roof can be taken out? Actually, this whole thing can be taken out. The doors can be taken out, this roof all the way to here, so you can have a true open-top experience while doing off-roading. Now let's check out the rear. So carrying over from the cohesiveness of the front and the side, here in the rear, you have your fifth full-size spare wheel here, which is actually very important when you're going off-roading. You have your third brake light mounted here, plastic bumpers here, which you can change out if you damage it. It's actually a good thing because it's cheaper to replace. Obviously, with the Bronco, there's a lot of aftermarket products you can choose from, so you can change it out if you want to. You also have blocky LED taillights. And actually, what's actually unique about the Bronco is it actually has a split tailgate. So you can open the rear glass here, and you can actually take all of this out so you can have that open top driving experience, leaving this behind. Now let's go check out the inside. So inside the Ford Bronco, you aren't bathed in luxury. You know, you're not filled with a leather-lined interior. What you get is hard-wearing materials. Materials are easy to clean. You have chunky buttons right here and rubberized buttons for your steering wheel. Now, what's cool about that is if you have off-road gloves, you can easily change your temperature, your volume, or whatever things that you need to change right here. At the same time, you have your front and rear diff lockers right here. So in front of you, you have your semi-digital instrument cluster and a 12-inch infotainment display right here with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So down below, you have a lot of space right here. You have your wireless charger with USB-A and USB-C ports, two cup holders, and your GOAT mode system. So what this does is you can change your drive modes at the command of your right hand at any time. So now let's go check out the second row. Here in the back of the Bronco, there really isn't so much features to talk about. You don't get any AC vents, and your footroom isn't exactly impressive, so it could get a little uncomfortable in a long road trip. But what you do get is USB-A ports, USB-C ports, and a socket right here, which is pretty cool, so you can charge your laptop on the go if you have work. And you have your cup holders right here, but you know, as far as features go, that's pretty much it. Oh, and I forgot to say, you also have your map lights right here. It isn't exactly the smartest place to put it, but seeing as the roof can be taken out, it's better to have it than have nothing at all. Now let's check out the trunk space. So the trunk space of the Bronco is actually quite spacious. When I had this in Hawaii for a week, I was able to put a lot of my luggage inside here along with my friends. And that's actually right now, you can see there's a lot of our camera equipment right here, our bags. But what's pretty cool actually is that you can see this exposed metal beam right here. Do remember that this can be taken out. So this beam is part of the car structure. So in case you go in a rollover in an accident, this can protect you. Now let's go check out what's under the hood. So as you can see, the engine bay is quite dirty. That's because this car has been used in off-road events in the past. And actually, it's actually quite weird to see a modern car nowadays with no engine cover at all. We're gonna see how it's like to drive around the city and for a few days, what it's gonna feel like. For a lot of people, the Bronco will spend maybe 80 to 90% of its time in the city. So it's also important to know what it's like to drive on a daily basis. You know, when you're driving the Bronco, the first thing that you really notice is how tall it is. You feel like you're above everybody else. It's so wide that there are some parking slots that could be a little difficult to park into. But for me, you know, I've owned an FG Cruiser before. That was also lifted, also had large tires. It took a while to get used to, and it came to a point that it was my daily driver. So for this particular car, this Bronco, it's no problem for me. How it feels like on the road, it's exactly how I expected it to be. As an off-road vehicle, this car is engineered for off-road first, on-road second. So there will be some compromises that you will expect. Part of that is the ride quality. It isn't exactly the best, but it's not bad either. I mean, it's what you would expect. It comes with heavy-duty Bilstein shocks, so you would expect that to be a bit comfortable. But no, for some bumps, it could feel a bit crashy. There is a bit of, you know, that sort of chassis flex that you hear whenever you pass through potholes. So it's something that some people might need to get used to. In my opinion, it's not an Everest, it's not a more refined crossover, it's an off-road SUV. On the bright side, the steering is soft, it's easy to point the car where you want it, especially with these two things in the hood that you see there. It's easy to place the car exactly where you want it to. You know, the size, you know, you can easily get used to this. You can easily use this as a daily driver. It's an easy car to drive. You have a great sound system. You have a Bang & Olufsen sound system here. As a daily driver, I think it works. It could be a challenge for some, but it's easy to get used to. Now, some of you might wonder, you know, what it's like to drive spiritedly, you know, maybe out on a mountain pass. You know, I mean, if you do a lot of road trips, you do a lot of road trips with the family, you do a lot of out-of-town trips, chances are you'll come across some twisties. I'm now going to see how well it drives when you're driving it spiritedly. The first thing you'll really notice is that 2.7-liter V6 engine, how good that engine is. It is extremely good. The power, the torque, it just kicks in immediately. The throttle response is very good. Even the sound it makes is very good. Now, if you switch it to sport mode down here, using this GOAT mode dial here, it becomes all-wheel drive. So what that does, it puts down the traction even better. The throttle response is much better. And, you know, it keeps it in the power band at all times. Now, the brakes are actually surprisingly very good in this thing. This is actually very impressive for an off-road vehicle. You know, that response, that feedback it gives you, very good. I get it, in the Philippines, the Bronco nameplate might not be as well known as it is in the US, but I urge buyers of, you know, the Land Cruiser, the Wrangler, you know, check the Bronco out. Even just looking at it outside, it's a true adventure vehicle at heart. Actually, I've never thought that I'd be saying this, but especially for an SUV, but this is actually one of the very few vehicles that I've ever driven that, you know, whenever I sleep at night, I'm like, you know what, let's go for a night drive. Let's go somewhere tomorrow, early morning. I don't know if addicting is the right way to say it, but that's what I keep on telling people, like, it's an addicting car to drive. Not a lot of other cars really give, well, that same way that the Bronco gives it. Enjoying this car a lot. Like, the past few days, I've been looking for an excuse to just drive this car around, whether it be visiting a friend's house, go to the mall or something. Like right now, I'm out of the metro because I just wanted to drive, just wanted to get more of that feeling I had when I drove this exact variant in Hawaii. I'm actually enjoying it more now for some reason. I don't know why. It's the same car, the same engine, same exact specs. I'll never get tired of that. It's not outright powerful, but it's powerful enough to give you that smile. That noise from the mud drain. You'll start to love it sooner or later. Yeah, fine, at first you'll be like, oh, that's a bit noisy. The NVH level's not that good. I really think, you know, whoever's watching out there, I really think you will. You know, try driving one. I'm not sure if Ford Philippines has any test drive units available. Probably they do. It's the most off-road ready out the box. None of the other direct competitors can actually say that. For the same price as this, nearly the same price, the Wrangler Sport, you know, lacks a lot of off-road features. It doesn't have 35-inch tires. You know, if you really want an off-road ready Wrangler, you're gonna have to spend for the Rubicon, which is about 1 million pesos more. That's around 6 million pesos. But for this is 4.9. Yeah, it might be steep for some, and I agree, could be steep, but the moment you drive it off-road, even on-road, you realize, okay, I I know where the engineering went. That 4.990 million, I see it. I'm feeling it. The engineers, the hard work that the engineers put through just to make this car, just to create this car for the enthusiasts. I'm happy that it exists. And I hope Ford continues making enthusiast cars that the way they do now, filled with character. This is the Bronco. Actually, it's also actually one of the few cars that I've gotten so much attention. Like even just gassing up in the gas station, attendants would be like, "Sir, ganda ng kotse mo." Cool car. And like a while ago, actually, while I was driving around Subic, there was a lovely couple who went up to me. "Oh, is that a new Bronco?" It's the first time I've seen it in person. They were impressed. Like they were checking the car out. I'm like, wow, let me check my Ford dealership. For me, it's an amazing car. I told them. May not be for everyone, I agree. It's definitely for me. That kid inside me is smiling right now. Hopefully I get to own one in the future. I do want an off-road vehicle once again. Yeah. I like this so much. This is amazing. This is an amazing car. After spending a few days with the Ford Bronco, it's safe to say that I want one in my garage. Hopefully I get to own one soon. And at the price of 4.998 million pesos, for me, it's the choice in this segment. It's the most off-road ready out the box. Please do read my article about that. But at the same time, here in the city, there's so much road presence, so much style, so much performance, a lot of overtaking power in the highway if you do road trips. Overall, I think for me, at least in my lifestyle, it's the perfect SUV. Hopefully, you do find and test drive one soon so that you can experience what I've experienced so far. This is Carlos Divino from YugaAuto. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube. I'll see you in the next video.